Capricorn, this is going to be your September 2018 reading, your general reading. I actually already did your reading, and it was actually rather quite long. I don't know why it came out that way, but it had a lot of intricacies and detail in it, and it took longer than I thought. And I uploaded, or I didn't upload it, I saved it. Some glitch happened where the whole thing was erased. And so I probably wasted about an hour and 10 minutes already doing a reading for you, but here we go again. And so this is going to be an 11 card Celtic cross spread for Capricorn rising, sun and moon sign for September 2018 in Capricorn's best, highest good, along with whatever they most need to hear about. Perhaps for whatever reasons you weren't supposed to get that one. So it'll be interesting for me to see if a similar theme comes out this time or if it's something completely different. So here we go. I'm going to pick your 11 cards right now, and then after I pick them, I'll show them to you, and then I'll pick clarifiers. Here, let me move this up a little bit. That eagle behind me is a kite, just so you know. This one's totally different. It makes me wonder. Oh, there it is again. You got the same card, except this time it's in a different spot. Pardon me. If this part is boring for you, feel free to skip ahead. I actually have a dear friend who's a Capricorn rising, and she was giving me feedback today because she's been watching some of the movies when she can. She's actually a mother of 5, and so she's quite busy. But she gave me the feedback today that perhaps it would save time if I just shuffled and laid out the cards before I started filming. But then I actually watch a lot of readers on YouTube just out of interest. I find it really fascinating to watch other people in my field do their thing, and I've noticed a lot of them seem to have gotten negative feedback when they have pre-shuffled and laid out the cards beforehand. I guess there's some people out there that prefer to actually watch you shuffle and pick the cards beforehand. Don't know if people are afraid that you're lying or you're purposefully picking out certain cards or what the reason is for that. But I was always of a mind, before, and the same thing now. Whenever I do watch readers, I generally tend to skip over the part where they're picking cards and shuffling. Sometimes I'll watch because they banter, but yeah, it's interesting. If anyone ever wanted to give me feedback on that, it would be awesome, because that way it would save a lot of time for you. But anyway, okay, so I am actually going to be using the Brian Froud Fairy Deck for your clarifiers this month, just to have some new fresh energy be brought into this to give me a different perspective. Sometimes I get tired of using the same deck. So this is for Capricorn, rising, sun, and moon sign. This is for their clarifiers for the month of September 2018. Okay. Okay, shuffle one more time. Pardon me. You'll just have to be patient. I'm just trying to get more information about something that's having a hard time coming out. Okay. All right. My puppy's outside. I might have to go get him. Coming, buddy. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to go get my puppy. I'm done picking clarifiers. So when you see me in 1 second, I will get started. Okay, here we go. Ready? I'm going to move the camera up just a little bit. Okay, so your central experience. Oh, I don't know if I ever showed you all 11. Sorry, guys. A little bit scattered right now. I've got a lot going on. Okay, your central experience for the month of September 2018 is the 9 of Swords. And I picked clarifiers already, so we'll get into that once I start reading. And your countering experience with that is the Ace of Swords. What is helping you is the Six of Cups. What is at your core of your being is the Hermit. In the recent past, you have the Knight of Pentacles. If you hear weird noises in the background, that's my puppy chewing on his bone on the floor, but at least he's not crying, so we're just going to have to deal with it. Your best possible outcome is Odd, and it's one of your major arcana cards along with the World. The World is your other major arcana card. So I definitely picked clarifiers to go with this to help explain this. And in your future, near future, you have the Ace of Pentacles. You right now are the High Priestess. She's been coming out quite a bit for people, especially in that spot or in the spot of the surroundings. I don't really know why. Perhaps intuitive abilities are increasing at this time. So in your surroundings, you have the Hanged Man, your hopes and fears, you have Judgment. This might be a hope. Your general outcome is the Two of Wands. This has come out for quite a few signs too, in various different positions. So, and I believe I already showed you the other deck. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Okay, so your central experience for September seems to be that you are worried, or you're having anxiety, or you're just feeling mentally overwhelmed, not sure if you can do something, not sure what you think about something. Could just be worry and anxiety about something not happening the way that you want, or not turning out the way that you want. You're just battling with fears. Yeah, so your clarifier to go with that, you may even have trouble sleeping, by the way, is Penelope Dreamweaver, which she's the fairy of inspiration, and the fairy of following your dreams or paying attention to your dreams and inspirations so that you can bring them into being. And she can also represent your actual dreams that you have when you sleep at night as well. It could be you're battling with nightmares somehow, or stressful dreams. That's just one possibility. But the general gist of what I'm getting here is that you want to bring your inspirations and dreams into reality, or pick up your guitar again, or your paintbrushes again, or whatever inspires you. But for whatever reasons you're having doubts you can bring these dreams into reality, or you're afraid that they're illusions somehow instead of being something very concrete and real that you can do or express. So it could be that you're just having a mental confusion about what's going on for you in general, and you need to pay more attention to your dreams. But what is hindering you, or what is your challenge in this matter, is the Ace of Swords. So maybe you're just having a hard time seeing things clearly, or perceiving things clearly, or even speaking clearly. You may be having a hard time with communication. There may be some kind of communication that you've been waiting for that is slow in coming, whether you're waiting to hear from someone, or waiting to hear a message, or get information that you need. Something about this has possibly gotten lost in the mail, so to speak, or you haven't received it as quickly as you would like. This can also be just wanting answers on something. Your challenge may be that you're not getting communication from other people when you are needing that communication in order to make sense out of what's happening. And so, or you may simply just be having a hard time seeing things clearly, or getting started with some kind of new thing you want to do, whether it's write a book, or communicate something, or teach, just something to do with communications. This is interesting. So you have the Six of Cups as what is helping you, and I could read this in so many different ways that I had to pick a few clarifiers to help me explain it. And so I got something very, I got something very specific. And so perhaps I'll read both ways to you. One way is that what is helping you is something from the past. This could be memories from the past are helping you. People from the past are cropping back up again. Something about this is being resolved, or you are feeling feelings that are pleasant or inspiring that perhaps you haven't felt or thought or expressed in a very long time, that you almost thought was dead or gone. There's something from the past that's coming back, and it's helping you. It's either an actual person is coming back, or an old way is coming back, an old way of feeling is coming back, or perhaps you are transmuting your memories of the past. Perhaps there are certain things that have happened in the past that used to bring you sadness, but now you're actually realizing different facets of this, or different things that you have learned from this process, and so this is actually helping you to move on. Something. So the specific message I got in here, so let me show you these clarifiers first. The first one to come out was Taten the Sliff, which is all about swift communications. So you may have heard from someone from the past who contacted you all of a sudden, or you're having sudden insights or ideas about something from the past, or perhaps certain facts or ideas are coming swiftly to you that you weren't even aware of before. There's some kind of communications here. The second one was Mick the Myomancer, which is, he looks like a gnome to me. I'm assuming he's a gnome or a dwarf of some kind. He's very earthy, like you. He's very Capricornian. But he's reminding me of actually Virgo, because he pays attention to the details. He's actually a gnome or a dwarf that reads signs for the future and signs from things in the common tiny details. that are around him. Myomancer actually means that he predicts the future by watching the movements of mice. And so he reads the future through scrying through mice. And mouse is an energy that has to do with details, small things, small messages, paying attention to things in a very close, scrutinizing manner. And so you may be receiving signs or messages that other people may not pick up on because they're so subtle or small, but you're starting to notice that things are making more sense, or you're starting to see an overall picture in the small things that are happening. And then the third one is Taom the poet. I am getting something in here specifically for a writer or a speaker or a storyteller, or someone who writes poems, works of fiction, nonfiction, and also songs. I think I remember in your reading that got erased, you had the piper in there, which was something to do with music. But anyway, I could be confused on that one. Let's see. Taom the poet is a romantic soul that loves adventures and loves to express himself through words, whether it's written words, spoken words, storytelling. I think I remember from the book that goes with this, Taom claims to have been born on the Blarney Stone. And so this is about a way with words, a way with poetry, a way with weaving words that deeply affects other people. And this is what he cares the most about and what he spends the majority of his energy on perfecting or making progress with. And so it could be that what is helping you, one possibility here that's very specific, is that you have suddenly become in contact with someone from the past, or in the past recently, you have met someone that feels like you have known them for forever, or you feel very close to them even though you don't know them very well. And perhaps you have been communicating with each other, and you're noticing small details in the matter that are coming together that are possibly leading you to believe that this may be a romance that you want to get into. Taom the poet also has to do with romance, or has to do with wanting more romance in your life. So I am getting perhaps you have met a dear soulmate, or somebody who you easily mesh with, or I guess one term would be to say that you vibe with, especially on an intellectual level. Someone who is very like-minded, or that you can have fascinating conversations with, but also someone that is piquing your interest as far as romance goes. It could be even that you are writing love poems to each other, or love letters, or saying beautiful things to each other. And this is what is helping you. Another way I could read this is that in the past, you may have had an inspiration to possibly write something, or communicate something, or teach something, and it had to be laid off over time in order for you to gather together more information. Should I pause it? Let's see if he stops. Okay. What was I saying? It was... your book, or your work, or your vision had to be put aside in the past, even though you may have not realized it at the time, because you have gathered more facts, or more inspiration, or more things that tie this story together. And so now what is helping you is to finally write this thing, because you have all of the inspiration and information that you needed, and a much more holistic, concise plot, if that makes any sense. But in other ways of looking at this, I would just say that something from the past is returning, You have received a lot of information about this, whether it's through visions or signs, and now you are ready to get it going, or to start with this, or to manifest this. So at your root, hopefully this is making sense to you. At your root, you have the Hermit. And so at the root of your being, you feel a great need at this time to take some time out in order to simplify your thoughts and get some clarity. It could be getting alone time, spending more time alone than usual, or going to very empty, clean spaces that can help you to think straight. Maybe something about clutter around you or too much going on around you has muddled your thinking, where you're not seeing things as clearly as you would like, or you're not making as much sense out of things as you would like. And so you've taken some time out. It could be a small vacation, it could be a trip, it could be some kind of retreat, or it could just be time spent alone so that you can get some processing done internally on anything that you need to shed light on, anything you need to make more sense out of. Okay, so in your recent past, you have the Knight of Pentacles, along with the Singer of Healing. What I'm getting is that in the recent past, you've been doing a lot of healing. And okay, that's it. I'm going to have to let him outside. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'll be right back. Okay, here we are again. I had to take him out for a walk. He's part dachshund, and for a little guy, he's got such a huge, deep bark. Okay, so where was I? I think I was here. Oh, no, don't tell me you're going to start whining now. Come on, buddy, go to sleep. Okay. In your recent past, you've been making slow, steady progress towards healing. And this is healing whatever holds you back, whatever you've been hurt by. Perhaps healing the feelings of that things aren't going anywhere and that you need to have patience. Normally, you Capricorn people never have a problem with patience. Maybe you were being overly patient. Maybe things were just growing too slowly. And you've been definitely seeing progress. Perhaps healing things about needing help. Maybe before you had some issues where you felt it as though it was admitting that you're weak in order to have help, or to shoulder everything yourself, and somehow by needing help it was a weakness, or it somehow made you less strong. But asking for help when you need it, or receiving help when you need it, is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. And perhaps you have been realizing this more, that you don't have to shoulder everything on your own. You can actually get help or have help, and it's not something that says that you are a failure or that you have failed in any way. And so you've definitely been healing this. I feel like you're getting better at recognizing that it's actually a sign of strength to ask for help when you need it. And that's what we're supposed to do for each other. So you've definitely been healing perhaps a feeling of that things weren't going anywhere. And you started to really realize that you are going someplace and that things are happening. It's just happening kind of slowly, or it has been. Or you've been slowly healing. If you've had some kind of injury or health issue, perhaps that has been steadily, slowly moving forward with healing and getting better. So as your best possible outcome, this is rather odd. And again, I'm getting something rather specific with this. So your best possible outcome is to face and integrate your own inner devil. And this can be whatever holds you back, feelings of being stuck or controlled, needing to control others or other things in order to have an inner sense of control. This could be addictions, it can be addictive patterns, things that don't serve you and are definitely not good for you, but you feel as though you can't stop or you can't control this. So, as your best possible outcome, I feel that you are finally facing, as your best possible outcome, parts of yourself that need to be looked at and integrated or healed or acknowledged in order for you to best move forward. This feels as though this has been holding you back. That's just a general way of putting it. The specifics in here seem kind of odd, but I'll get into them. And so, perhaps something to do with what you're healing from has something to do with your early childhood and your nurturing figure. Let's face it, we don't always come from the nuclear family of a mom, a dad, and a brother or sister. Some of us are raised by grandparents. Some of us are raised by aunts or foster parents or even adopted. Some of us, our primary nurturer happens to be a grandparent or your own father instead of your mother. This card, the Bright Mother, represents the divine feminine and represents mothering and nurturing in general, and represents our primary nurturers, but they do not have to be a mother. This could be about a mother, but it doesn't have to be. It's definitely about your early childhood, though, and who was supposed to be nurturing you, whether they over-nurtured you to the point of smothering you and you felt as though you didn't have freedom. And so now you're afraid to make connections with people because you're afraid of being controlled or swamped by their emotions. This could be not being nurtured enough, where you didn't receive the empathy or the compassion that you needed when you made mistakes, when you fell down on the ground. You may have had a lack of nurturing where you didn't have that safe nurturing figure to go to when you needed some extra reassurance or hugs or just those things that mothers are supposed to do. And so something about this has been affecting your relationships or your friendships or just your connections with other people. Perhaps you truly long for this nurturing, but you're not sure how to get it, or you don't know whether to trust it when it does happen. Perhaps some of you may have even been abused in your early years or felt as though you were controlled by a smothering or overly controlling figure that was really supposed to be taking care of you or making sure that you were safe. But I definitely feel that at this time, perhaps because you have been slowly healing and because things from the past are helping you, or things coming back from the past are helping you, I feel as though you are finally at a point in your life where you're realizing that we're all human on a very deep level, as in we all make mistakes. We're not all perfect. Whoever was your primary nurturing figure, they may have had their own demons and devils and haunts haunting them, where if they were in a good, healthy place, they would have never done that to you, or they never would have treated you that way. But let's face it, we're all imperfect beings, and we're all learning different things. Perhaps you're fully really realizing this. You may have realized this intellectually in the past, but you're fully realizing this on an emotional level now, where you're fully comprehending this fact that perhaps there were things about this person or a situation that you have not been aware of that made them that way. Or there may have been some figures in your life that had both in them, where sometimes they treated you very badly, but other times they were good people. It's not always an easy thing to define. It's not always easy to just blame someone and say that they wrecked your life or they were awful people. Perhaps sometimes they were definitely not at their best, but there may have been some good parts of their nature too. Good values that they taught you, or good lessons that they taught you, good qualities that they did have that came out from now and then. And so you're starting to have more empathy and compassion for this situation, the people that affected you in such a deep manner. I feel like this is a lifelong thing that you have been carrying from this experience. And something about this I'm sorry to be so blunt and cool about this, but I do feel as though this needs to be said. Obviously, if this rings true, it rings true, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But I almost feel as though you have been using this to explain away on why you can't move forward or do what you want or follow your dreams, is you are still using this as your excuse on why you can't do that. But you can't do that anymore because, let's face it, when we're children, we can't control what we're surrounded by, but as adults, we can. You don't have to keep on bringing this subconsciously back into your life again in order to somehow either make this person love you when you feel as though they didn't love you, or make this person understand if they felt as though they didn't understand where you were coming from. I feel like this is a repeating thing that's been happening off and on throughout your life. And so you are healing now, where you are fully realizing as your best possible outcome that no one is perfect, and you can't let this stop you. Things are not so black and white. And so now, sorry about the specifics, you guys, that it obviously isn't going to apply for everyone, but I definitely saw that in there. Also, a remedy for your best possible outcome in dealing with this is to have support, is to have dear friends, is to have people that are on a similar healing journey or a similar situation. I suppose in one way of putting that could be support group therapy or something. It doesn't have to be mental health related, but something like that. Finding people that have experienced this as well, that you can count on to understand where you're coming from while you experience this process. Or just simply just having dear friends in your life that you feel supported by, where I feel as though perhaps maybe some of you were left alone too much, or you didn't have anybody there, and you were almost expected to raise yourself or become an adult instantly instead of enjoying your childhood. And so you need to reawaken a childhood that perhaps you never quite had the way that you needed it to be. To let your inner child out to play, to find friends for this inner child to play with, to feel as though there is people there. There are people there that care about you. You are not completely isolated and alone anymore or abandoned anymore. If you can't, let's face it, we don't always have the true love that we want at this moment. Love comes in and out of our lives sometimes. Sometimes it stays there for a long time. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't quite arrive the way that people want to with love or romantic situations. But you can always find kindred spirits. And sometimes by finding kindred spirits, you can also find partners that way as well, that are dear friends as well as lovers or partners. So that was a mouthful. Okay, so that is what is helping you. In your future, I left this be with no clarifiers because I think it's pretty simple and straightforward. Coming up for you in the near future, you have a new beginning. This could be a new home, a new job, a new relationship, a new way of seeing things, a new way of doing things, a new way of experiencing life that makes you treasure all of your senses, all of the things that are possible for you to plant. You definitely have something you would like to plant. Planting your dreams to see if they come true, to see if they come into being and grow. Well, looks very nice, you guys. This is your near future. The seed is growing. The seed is growing into something long-lasting, stable, and beautiful, and fruitful. Perhaps your money situation is getting better. Your job situation is changing. Maybe you're starting your own business. Something you would like to plant. Perhaps that book you would like to write, or that poem you would like to write. You right now are the High Priestess, so your intuition is very sharp and active at this time. It's important for you to trust your gut feelings that you get about things. on what to go with, what not to go with. Use your intuition as your guide on how to proceed with things. It is accurate and dead on. Pay attention to what you get. Your psychic capacities may be becoming stronger at this time. So in your surroundings, both these cards are very similar, and so I'm not going to bother with trying to explain laced, the moon's daughter. I see a direct connection between these two things. They're almost saying the same thing. So I'm just going to tell you. You are receiving dreams, visions, inspirations, sudden insights, sudden breakthroughs, sudden knowledge that is coming to you from within rather than without. So it's important for you to pay attention. You also have, what is his name again? Mick the Myomancer, the mouse reader. She is similar. Usually what happens is Laced wants to see you grow, wants to see you enjoy your life, wants to see you appreciate your visions and signs and signals and messages that are coming your way. But we aren't always aware of these things, or we get boxed into the thoughts that these things don't exist, because that's what we've been taught, is that those things don't exist, or they're just an illusion, or they're fantasy, or you were just imagining it, or whatever. She hates to see people sleepwalk and not be aware of all of the magic, mystery, and amazing things that are around you at all times. The divine is around us all the time, as well as within us and within everything around us. And Spirit is constantly giving us messages. It's just we're not always in a state to be aware of it. And so what she does is she belongs to the moon. She's the moon's daughter. And she emanates a great deal of moonlight, which illuminates things and has you make connections and see sense in things that before perhaps were senseless to you or didn't make sense to you, but now things are making sense because she illuminates it for you. She brings these messages to you. But if you're sleepwalking and you're deliberately not paying attention, or you just don't know how to pay attention, she will pull a veil across the moon to darken it, where all of a sudden the moonlight that was guiding you before gets taken away and you fall into bogs and holes and tricky places in the dark, in order to get you to wake up and pay attention. And so in your surroundings, you have messages all around you. You have things that are being communicated to you by the divine all the time. And there's something being said to you that you need to pay attention to that would lead you forward in the best possible way, or help re-inspire you again, to help you believe that these things are possible and they're not just fantasies. So as your hopes, you have judgment. You're hoping that something that died a long time ago will come back to life. This could be a vision, a dream that you had, an inspiration that you had, something you wanted to do with your life. This could also be a person from the past that you would like to be reunited with or be able to see again. I just got something kind of sad that was wanting to see your parent again who has passed away, or somebody has passed away that you really miss and you wish you could see them again. But that person, that soul, is always with you and hasn't really gone anywhere. They're still with you, and they're still giving you messages and signs and leading you to your path, or helping you to go towards your path. They're your guide now. But that aside, I feel as though there is something that you thought was forever lost that is coming back now, and your hope is that you will finally be able to manifest this. Whether it's a book you want to write, or a true love you want to find, or something you've always wanted to do but you gave up on as if it just wasn't possible. Something. So Your general outcome. Thank you for being a good boy. Good boy. Okay. Your general outcome is that you're thinking of making a choice to go towards something that you have never experienced before. This could be a new location. This could be branching out where you're bringing your gifts to the world. Your talents are more available to more people. This could be deciding to go on a trip or a vacation or go to a land that you've always wanted to go to. This could be deciding to do something that you have always wanted to do. And so you're just thinking about logistics. How do I go about best doing this? How should I move forward with this? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? You're definitely thinking of doing something completely different. And it feels very exciting. It feels like you're very excited about this possibility or potential, and you really do want to go towards it. And so your clarifier with this is the Singer of Courage. I think someone else got this exact combination, or something close to it. This must be a collective thing that's going on for the planet right now, is realizing that you need to conjure up the courage in you to face your fear, or to move through your fear and not let it stop you from doing what you want to do or exploring what you want to explore. And this has a great deal to do with your best possible outcome, which is to let go of the old haunts from the past that have held you back. I'm getting for a great majority, what am I trying to say? For a long time in your life, this has been holding you back. You may have not even really been consciously aware of this, but now you're becoming consciously aware of it. And so the more you have empathy and forgiveness for the situation, the people involved, and yourself, and you realize we're all human and we all make mistakes, and also whatever you have experienced that's been a setback or has been a wounding for you, it ultimately has brought you to the state where you are now. You have learned, you have become who you are now because of these experiences, and ultimately they bring you wisdom or an understanding of things. And if perhaps there are some of you that are having a baby, you may have had a nurturer in your life. It doesn't have to be your mother. It can be anybody, anyone who is very close to you. Whether you are a woman and you are pregnant or thinking of getting pregnant and having a baby, there's some wounds with the Divine Mother that you need to heal so that you can feel completely confident about being a mother yourself. And if you happen to be a man and you're expecting a baby, or you have a prominent woman in your life that does a great deal to take care of you and love you, whatever this was that made you feel as though you didn't have what you need, or perhaps was even cruel to a certain degree, or left you by yourself, you're healing that now where you can fully feel respectful of the divine feminine and of any prominent woman in your life that may be bringing your baby into the world. And that just because that was your experience back then doesn't mean that that's how you should parent now. And you want to parent or nurture your children in a completely different way than how you were nurtured or parented. And again, to have confidence that you can do this even though you don't necessarily have a guide or a teacher to show you how to do this. And on a less specific note, because I know not all of you have had this experience, it's a similar message if you are having a baby be born in the family, or even a new being, a new situation, a new seed that you want to plant, and a new life for yourself. Just because the people that were supposed to encourage you with these things didn't, you can still do this for yourself and attract people in your life now that can do this for you. Support. So hopefully that made sense to you. and helped in some way. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you soon. Stay tuned for a little blurb at the end of this to let you know about your bonus readings. Okay, hopefully you will have a smooth rest of September, and I will see you soon. I love you very much. Hello everyone. This is just a little end note for you to let you know that as well as being an intuitive, I'm also an artist, and I've just been commissioned to make 30 wind spirits that are sculptures that hang from the ceiling. And so I need to get that done in order to be able to pay my bills and feed my kid and all of that wonderful stuff. So I'm just letting you know I'm putting out all of your general readings for September out all at once, and then I'm going to be finishing this commission and then hopefully getting your bonus readings out by next week at the latest. The good thing about that is that you'll probably be able to see my sculptures behind me when you do get your bonus readings. See if you like my art at all. Also, I wanted some feedback about the bonus videos. I do know that there are people who watch those. I would love to get some feedback on whether or not I should even be including health at the end there. I know that people are interested in the love and relationships and in the career and money. I'm just wondering if doing the health reading at the end is really necessary, or if people are watching those, or if they help in any way. If people are more interested in career and money and relationships, I would rather focus on those two things for you. So if anyone's brave enough to mention to me whether or not you actually watch the health sections, whether they're valuable to you, whether I should cut them out altogether and just focus on the other two. So I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Oh, I also wanted to say that I realize these are still late. Living in such a rural area, it's actually hard. Jobs are hard to come by here, and so I do a lot of odd jobs and things on the side in order to pay my bills, as well as doing readings and art. But I am going to be putting an option down below in the description box in case there's anybody out there that would like to donate to my channel at all. I realize it's kind of early to be asking for that at this point, but it would help me out quite a bit if you have it to give, and if these benefit you in any way and you appreciate these readings. Even if it was $5, I could use anything at this point. Also, I'm also an astrologer, and I have been one professionally for at least 18 years now. I would like to get to a point with prosperity where I can take extra time out in order to possibly put some free courses on this channel for astrology, numerology, many other things. I actually read palms. I read astrology charts of all different kinds. I read tarot cards, and I also read tea leaves. So if there's anything about those things that you would like to know about, I've noticed that on YouTube there's not a whole lot available on things like Lilith in your chart, or Eros and Psyche, or any of the asteroids. So if there is anyone out there that would like to see videos about those concepts, donating to the channel would really help me with that. It would give me enough time and space to be able to sit down and knock them out instead of scrambling around on the side trying to come up with enough. So thank you for patiently listening to me ramble, and I will see you soon with your bonus readings. For now, hopefully this will suffice. And next time I see you, you'll see some wind spirits. Okay, take care. I love you guys. Bye.